Don't worry, I'm gonna have you maybe just for the next let's call it maybe 15. 15. No, the slides we can finish now. Okay, so here, remember I said that the second part of our lecture is now your knowledge systems. Okay, and we're actually repeating the same thing. So remember, we had knowledge discovery, right? Process. We had after knowledge discovery, what did we have? There was also knowledge sharing as well. After that, we also had what? Knowledge application. And the one that I was struggling to remember was knowledge capture. All right. So now they're just talking to the systems of these things. So you'll find that the definitions are very similar, but now they're just talking about it from a systems perspective. So I think the best thing is actually just to go into these subsystems in this case. All right. So you still have combination and socialization when talking to knowledge discovery. And remember, when we said discovery, we're talking about we have new knowledge after engaging in this. Okay. So here we're obviously talking to systems that will enable combination. Does that make sense? So here we're saying existing explicit knowledge may be recontextualized to produce new explicit knowledge. So obviously we need to create systems, all right, in order to facilitate this. All right. Then socialization here we're just saying socialization as a means of knowledge discovery is a common practice in many organizations, uh, pursued either by accident or on purpose. Okay. So here now they're just talking to mechanisms now. So mechanisms for combination, okay? Collaborative problem solving, joint decision making, okay? So through, remember I kept using the example of operations management, financial management coming together to discuss a new product. That's exactly what's happening. So from a system perspective, we might say we're going to create a system where we do this every now and again, okay? Or we can facilitate this every now and again. Then technology for combination, okay? Databases, all right, and knowledge discovery systems, okay? Databases, you're sharing your knowledge, I'm sharing my knowledge, and then through it, we're obviously creating new knowledge via combination. Then mechanisms for socialization, employee rotation across departments, okay? And then research conferences, okay? Then you've got brainstorming sessions and cooperative projects, all right? And the technology is rather fairly straightforward. Obviously, video conferencing, electronic support for communities of practice. Okay, so there we go. Same thing when looking at your knowledge capture systems. Okay, we need systems that will enable us to capture our knowledge. That's all we're saying. So can you see? It's now just extending your mind to say, okay, beyond the processes, what are the systems that will facilitate this? And that's all we're speaking today. Okay, that's all that we're speaking today. All right. I need not necessarily go into it. Okay, same thing for knowledge sharing. Okay, what mechanisms? Memos, letters. Okay, remember here we're talking about um, sharing of both explicit and tacit. Okay, okay, here for socialization, because we said socialization is the one where we can easily share tacit knowledge. Can you see video conferencing, discussion groups? We're engaging. Okay, and then on what technology can be used to facilitate such a mechanism. Okay, just forgot to highlight the technologies in color there. Okay, but I think this is fairly straightforward. And then obviously application again, we're just extending the process and saying what systems can we have in place to facilitate decision making based off of the knowledge that we have. Okay, and here you can see the we can create policies. So in other words, for instance, you know, in a business, this is just an example of a policy. Okay, in a business, you might find that when it comes to spending money, you can't just spend money. You need sign off from different people. Can you see how that process kind of, in a sense, forces more than one person to actually approve something, okay? Because your judgment might not be the greatest. Does that make sense? You might be thinking this is the best supplier, but on the other side, someone is saying the quality here is not great. Okay, so you start exchanging knowledge on that basis. So policy, work practices, standards, okay? Those are mechanisms, all right? Then expert systems, okay? So immediately we've submitted something for payment. There now needs to be a system that goes, that highlights to our CFO, Chief Financial Officer, our CEO, all right, and then maybe our Chief Operations Manager. All of them need to sign off, depending also on amount. I mean, if it's more money, obviously we won't bother all of them. Does that make sense? Because we know they're busy. But you get what I'm trying to say. That's now a system that allows us to obviously apply our knowledge application process. Okay, so that's what we're talking to. And then this last slide here, I'll end off on this. This should be table 4.1, should be in your textbooks. Okay, if not, I advise that you take a picture. Yeah. So here, this is summarizing everything that we've actually done today. We have our knowledge processes, first column. We've got our knowledge systems, second column. You see, literally, as I was saying, they've just thrown systems on the end of the processes. And then you've got your sub-processes, okay, which are the same as your subsystems in a way, okay? And then obviously now they give you illustrations of mechanisms and illustrations of your technologies. So if you study this, you have literally studied what we've just gone through. Obviously, you just need to understand what we mean when we say combination, what we mean when we say internalization, and so forth, so forth. Does that make sense? Direction. All right? So, but before we can end off, because we're having so much fun with our quizzes, second chance. We're ending off on this. So the faster we get this done, the faster I let you go. Faster I let you go. Are we taking, can we take a picture quickly and then share it on the group? Yeah, write your name, it's fine. It doesn't matter, you can write your name if you want to. Have we taken a picture? All right, perfect.